Thomas. We've been talking earlier on in the show about this remarkable front page on The Sun this morning. Exclusive Sun investigation. Rapper on BBC is Jimmy's killer. You might remember that terrible, terrible killing of a schoolboy, Jimmy Mizen, back in 2008. He was only 16 years old. He was in South London in a bakery, minding his own business. This horrible, ghastly individual called Jake Fahri came in and stabbed him to death. He has since been doing time in prison. He was supposed to have gone to prison for life, of course, but life doesn't mean life in this country. So he's out. And now he's a rapper. He's a drill rapper, to be precise, and the BBC keeps playing his music. Thomas Godfrey's here from The Sun to tell us what the latest is on it, because the Department of Justice, Thomas, I think has been informed as well. It's a great story, and thanks for joining us. Very good morning to you.
Yeah, the MOJ are looking into this pretty urgently this morning. It comes amidst some serious concerns from Jimmy's family over how someone with the criminal record, the attitude, clearly, of Jake Fahri towards his crimes, the absolute lack of remorse that he has shown, not only through his trial, but clearly in the 15 years since, and obviously since getting out and taking to social media with some of this horrifically violent music. There's questions for a lot of people to answer today, not least, of course, the BBC.
Yeah, absolutely right, because One Extra keeps playing the song and some of the lyrics as well that he's using, because he's making sort of hay, is he not, about the killing itself. I mean, he says things like, never understood a life till you took a life, swing around a blade when I promised Mum I'd never touch a knife again. I mean, unbelievable. Stuck it on a man and watched him melt like Ben and Jerry's. He's actually profiting from his crimes, which is, technically speaking, not supposed to be allowed, is it?
Well, absolutely. I mean, this is straight up horrible in a way. And the BBC cannot credibly claim all innocence here. They played two of his tracks on Radio 1 Extra, described him as a standout. One of the hosts on Radio 1 Extra, Theo Johnson, credited his music, said he really liked what he was doing. Obviously, the fact the BBC have done absolutely no vetting here, clearly, of anyone who they are playing. And it's in this genre, especially, we know that a couple of hundred criminal offences in the last few years have been linked to drill music. The Met Police have a team of around 40 people just studying the movements of some of these drill gangs. And we saw last week with the murder of Kellyan Bakassa, the 14-year-old known as Gripper online, how this sort of music, which perforates into every part, it seems now, of mainstream culture, not least through BBC radio stations, can end up with deadly and fatal consequences.
Absolutely right. And so, I mean, presumably the BBC, who haven't, as far as I know, yet issued any kind of statement, will have to take another view, because now that they know, thanks to The Sun, that this guy's a killer, surely they won't be playing his music anymore.
Well, that is a decision for the BBC. That is their crunch decision. Will they remove the episodes, or the one remaining episode that is available on BBC Sounds, which features his music, from BBC Sounds? That hasn't happened yet.
Right.
Jimmy's family, we think firmly of the opinion that that should happen, of course, and pretty quickly as well. And Jimmy's mother, Margaret, was on BBC TV this morning criticising the BBC for not doing the background checks that they needed to do before they platformed and promoted someone who has turned out to be not just a bit-part criminal, not a petty thug, but a convicted murderer. And at that, one of the most notorious convicted murderers this country has seen in the last 25 years.
And that's another question, isn't it, really, that he gets sent to prison for life, but he's now out and able to make a pretty decent living, thanks very much indeed, as some kind of rap star.
Well, he harboured rap ambitions before going to prison. He was known as Dirty on the streets before his sentence. He was, of course, 19 when he went to prison. Judges would have taken him into account his age, sentencing him. But 15 years for a murder so serious. And the attitude he showed throughout his trial, if you read it in The Sun today, Mike Sullivan, our crime editor, who covered the trial at the time, recounts in amazing detail how far he was flirting with the young female jurors. I mean, it's the sort of behaviour that just shows that he has absolutely no remorse, and clearly 15 years in prison has not changed him one bit.
No, it's a shocking story. Thomas, good to talk to you. Thanks very much indeed. Thomas Godfrey, reporter at The Sun, where the story on the front page today is quite extraordinary. An exclusive Sun investigation. A man by the name of Jake Fahri, 35 years of age, sentenced to life at the age of 19, but now out and free to roam the streets, basically, after stabbing to death an innocent schoolboy by the name of Jimmy Mizen back in 2008. He's recently been being showcased on BBC Radio 1 Extra. He's been promoted by the BBC. He appears on a couple of their podcasts. He appears on BBC Sounds. He's described as, you know, a great up-and-coming star of the drill rap genre. And quite frankly, it's beggars belief. The BBC yet to make an announcement. As soon as they do, which I imagine will be pretty soon, we would like to hear exactly what they've got to say and exactly what they're going to do about not promoting it. Swing around a blade when I promised my mum I'd never touch a knife again, as he says. Never understood a life until you took a life. Head gone, chest gone, blades out, flesh gone. I wanted more, it made it less wrong. Seeing blood spilt on the same floor he was left on. I mean, just horrific, ghastly stuff. Unbelievable. Another thorn in the side of the BBC, I'm afraid.